Welcome back to Crypto Life Inc. My name's Ed. I'm your new co-host for this channel, and I'd just like to welcome you all back and thank you for coming back after a long hiatus. And I'd also like to wish you a very happy Halloween and a very nice sunny morning we have had today in Australia from where I'm coming from. And I hope you're ready to have a little look at the market today and some little news that might be interesting in the coming weeks. All right, let me minimize my face right here real quick, and we can take a look at our first article here from CoinDesk. This is titled Polkadot Sets Date for Hotly Anticipated Parachain Auctions. Now, I'm not exactly sure precisely the technical aspects of this update, but essentially this is an update to Polkadot, which is one of our loved cryptocurrencies. And Polkadot's actually been doing really well recently. So they say that this update is happening around November 11th. Now they could delay this or they could postpone it to another date. I will let you know if they do, but currently it's set to November 11th. And typically what we do when we see news like this, like updates or big events, especially if it's overhyped, like the more hyped it is, generally it is the more the case where you sort of buy the lead up and then you sell when the event actually happens. And so for this Polkadot update, we also see on Polkadot's website that it is also happening at November 11th. And there's going to be quite a few parachains. So this is a batch of 5 parachains that would be onboarded to Polkadot at lease period 6, which begins on December 17th. So this is also linked to Kasami, so this probably will affect both Polkadot and Kasama in a similar fashion. Whichever ways it goes, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. So next is an article from Blockworks about the Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF. Now, apparently this one has been pulled by the SEC. There's some regulatory instruments that are problematic to it, but there is an existing ETF called Bido that's already running and still running. This one was also running, but it was withdrawn on Friday, so that may be an explanation to why the price dipped on Friday for Bitcoin. So next, moving on from the news, I generally try not to look at too many news articles because then it sort of messes with your head, and especially with all the clickbaity news titles that are out there, it's important to keep a level head. So how do I keep my head level? Well, I look at this. So this is a new sort of indicator, basically, that pulls together 12 different indicators, all quantitative indicators based off Bitcoin price for its 12-year life cycle. And pretty much it pulls them all together, collates them into one chart. So this blue chart you can see here, this blue line, and pretty much once it's collated, it tells you at the 100 point the confidence of which we are at the very peak of our cycle. Now, how do we measure the cycles? We measure them from our little H here. So this H stands for halving event, and it's got the Bitcoin price in orange as well. And so what you do is you look at whenever the blue is at 100%, and that's when you know that you have to sell, pretty much. And as you can see, it hit 100 in both the 2013 cycle and also the 2017 cycle. Now, currently, we are in another cycle right after the halving event, and we have not yet hit 100. We hit a high of about 73, but not 100. So therefore, what can we say? We can say that we are still waiting for the top. And if that's the case, we should expect a top maybe within the next year. Something like that, if we take a basis of the previous cycles. If we look at 2013, we actually did hit 84, but because we didn't hit 100, we can't say that we hit the peak. So I'm still waiting for that peak, and I think you should be as well. Now, what's interesting here is You can look at these indicators separately, which is what we are going to do after this tab. But if you remove some of these indicators, like some indicators that are more that talk specifically about the very, very top, if you remove some of them, then what you can see is that you might be able to see you might be able to have a range of buying and selling. So right now, yeah, see, if we remove this, like these few indicators, what we can see is that we might actually have a range of buying and selling, right? So for example, in 2013, we could have this range of like anything above 80, that's when we consider selling, right? So we hit 80 here, and then, well, you could sell and then reaccumulate when it's a 70, when it goes back below 80, and then sell at the top, right? And same here as well. When it goes a specific amount over 80, maybe that's when you consider selling, like a portion of how much you're holding, right? And you can tweak around with this as well. And all the settings are pretty interesting as well. So if you look at them individually, the pi cycle indicator is obviously very, very good for the 100 level, but maybe not so good for any other level. And yeah, days to halving, yeah, that's more like timing of when the peak was from the halving date. Okay, let's move on. So this is our fear and greed index. We are currently at a 74, which is not too high. If we take a look at the historical values, let's go to the maximum. So generally around this region, we have seen peaks for the Bitcoin price, and generally around 15. That's a very good buying opportunity for the Bitcoin price. But we have seen in April this year, when we hit an all-time high of around 65,000 US dollars, we hit around 95. So I'm still sort of waiting on that 95 region before I get really, really concerned, because we did have a nice little consolidation here, which I will be going through just in a moment. Next is our Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. I like to look at this because it makes me feel calm, because when I think about it, anyone who's bought Bitcoin has made incredible gains over the last 4 years. So that is very, very good. And it's a good idea, basically, from what I tell from this chart, just to keep holding your coins. This is the same chart, but in a colored way. And this is a hodl way. So basically, this is where you have people who have held their Bitcoin for more than a year, and how much people have held their Bitcoin for more than a year as a percentage of all the people who are holding. Next is a 200-week moving average. This is to basically look at when we can see bottoms in the price action. Not really relevant right now because we are still really, really far away. Okay, I might just start and move into the price action now. So let's look at the price. Currently, we are trading at 62,395 US dollars. Now we look at US dollars because, well, that's what everyone else is looking at in the world. So that's why we look at US dollars. Now what we can see is, since I made the thumbnail actually, we've actually put in a nice little bounce here. And if we compare our price today to our price last week, well, from the thumbnail, it hasn't really moved that much. This is pretty much the biggest move that we've seen since last week. And because of that, because Bitcoin's just been holding this range, essentially, all the other altcoins like Ethereum have been putting in bigger moves. So Ethereum is now at 4,390 US dollars from around 4K last time in last week, right? So Ethereum has been putting up much larger moves compared to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been holding steady. And what we've noticed is when Bitcoin holds steady, when it's above the 20-week moving average, then if Bitcoin holds steady above the 20-week moving average, then altcoins like Ethereum and other good altcoins will move upwards much, much more. So that is a good sign for altcoins and anyone who holds altcoins. Now, this is just a chart with some moving averages, right? So this very simple chart. This is the yellow 21 exponential moving average, the green 55 exponential moving average, and we have some other moving averages here. We have this 20-week moving average. So this is the 20-week I was mentioning before. That's when Bitcoin is above and holding steady. We see movement in altcoins that go up. They go up. And also the 50-week moving average, which has been very good support over the last year. So what do we look at moving averages for? We look at moving averages for support and resistance. Currently, we are above the moving averages. So when we come down towards the moving averages, we look for support. And what have we found? On the daily 21 moving average that we found support here, here, and here, and here, we find support again, right? And we expect this to hold. If this doesn't hold, then we expect to find support around the green moving average, where we found here, here, and over here in the past. So the green is more strong than the yellow, pretty much. But if we come to the yellow, then that still counts as good support if we don't break below it. Pretty much the higher the time frame, the stronger the support. Right, let's move on to our final chart for today. We're going to have a look at the mix between the RSI and the price. Now, what is the RSI? The RSI is basically showing the strength of the price action. And what I like to do on the RSI is I like to draw channels, just like I would draw on the price. So if we look at this price of Bitcoin in particular, we are seeing a descending channel, right? So what is happening is the price is being localized within this channel, and we've seen a break. Now, whenever we see a break, we generally want to see a retest, and then once we have a retest, we see continuation from that move. So currently, we're seeing continuation from that move from a healthy retest, and this looks very, 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 very good. And that retest is also backed by the RSI, which means it's even better. Because if you see this, that's not backed on the RSI, like this channel here that we see here, we see this nice little channel where the RSI is being bound between. Then we see a breakout, see a retest, and boom, there we go, happy days. Right? So this is, yeah, you want to see it backed, man. You want to see it backed. If it's not backed, then it's whack. Yeah, if it ain't back, it's whack, right? So let me show you some proof of how this works. So this is the 4-hour time frame. Every time frame has a different sort of fingerprint of the RSI, and if you look at it, we see tops along this top range, and we see bottoms along this bottom range. Right, tops, bottoms, and once we come above that, we see a retest, right? A retest of this bottom, or the top side of the RSI line, and then we move up, and then we use that as support back here. So that was a retest of our breakout from this line here. So yeah, when you see support here, there's generally really good buying opportunity, and it's also supported by the 55 exponential moving average, which is really, really good as well for the 4-hour time frame. Now, we saw this yet again right here, right? So that's a good buy opportunity, but it fell through. And then right here again. So there's an even better buy opportunity right here. And now what do we see here? What do we see here? Well, we see another breakout from this RSI region, and we see a bounce and then continuation. And this looks very, very, very good. Very good. Right. And this is also confirmed on the daily. So like I said, the longer the time frame, the better the I guess opportunity, right? So if you go look at RSI, go look at RSI in the daily time frame, we also see this pattern. What you can do is we can draw a line, and boom, right? We see lots of resistance on this line, and once we come back above it, see resistance here. Once we come back above it, we see support on this line. Boom. It looks very, very good, especially on a daily time frame, because the higher the time frame, the more, I guess, powerful the move. And like, I'm not full of shit. Like, look at this. Look at this, right? We had this long downtrend on the RSI since January all the way to July. And guess what happened? We hit a price of $30,000. We popped back above that, and we started shooting up. And when did we retest? The 21st of September. On 39K. So that was the next great buy opportunity. And right now, I'm telling you, right now is the next great buy opportunity. Right now. is the next great buy. I'm saying, like, right now is the next great buy opportunity. And where would I see, right? And where would I see this point being null, right? Where would this be nullified? When would it become not a great buy opportunity? Because anything's possible, really. If you look at shorter time frames, I would say we held this support here, which is pretty much the $60,000 region. I expect that if we do ever come back down to the $60,000 region and we close below it on a 4-hour closure or a daily closure or above, probably then it's nullified. But until then, I think it's pretty good. Like, we've got all the evidence saying that this is a great buy opportunity. Like here, like right here was at 40K, and right here again at 60K, another 20K above that. So that's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion. All right. So what we can do now is we can look at a smaller time frame, like the 1 hour. So let's look at the 1 hour on Bitcoin. Now I'll be doing this for Ethereum as well. If we look on the 1 hour, we see more sort of support zones and stuff like that, but it's less reliable compared to longer time frames. Now we see we're in a channel right now for the RSI. We see right here, see a top in the RSI channel and a top on the price, bottom of the RSI channel, bottom of the price, top on the RSI channel, top of the price, bottom of the RSI channel, bottom of the price. So what's happening right now? So we're seeing another top of the RSI channel. So what do we expect? This is resistance here, right? If we do pop above this, then boom, we're going to see a big price movement, right? If we don't, then we're going to be trading within this channel until we see a break, right? Okay. So what I've noticed here is something very good. This is known as bullish divergence. So what is bullish divergence? Basically, if you have a look here, the bottoms of the candles are higher, whereas the RSI bottoms they're lower. And what does that mean? That means they don't match, which means they diverge, which means good, pretty much. Basically what this means is that there's more strength in this move than other moves. And if we look here as well, we see from this low as well, there's another bullish divergence, right? And because they're so close to where the price is right now, we can say that these are two drives of bullish divergence, and which means it's even better, right? But this is on the 1 hour time frame, so it's not as good as if it was on the 4 hour time frame or the daily time frame, but still very good. So yeah, these are just something to keep in mind and keep a close look at. Okay. But I do dare say that this does look very good. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice retest. Very nice. Yeah, and well, does look really good. Okay, next is Ethereum. So if we change over to Ethereum, we can have a look at that. So Ethereum is doing really well. I don't really see any patterns here on the RSI as of now, and I would not call that divergence, like bullish divergence of any kind at this moment. We did see some bearish divergence here, between these 2 points, but I think that's probably resolved by now based on us pretty much closing price above that, and we are seeing new all-time highs, which is very good as well. Now, if you look on the shorter time frames, on the 4 hour for Ethereum, we can see that we are getting really nice support on this line. See, like we did break it, but we came back in, which is whenever you break it and you come back in, that's a fake out, and a fake out is really good, right? Well, a fake out is good for whichever direction, the opposite direction of which it faked out. So it faked out to the bottom, so it's good for the upside. If it faked out to the upside, then it's good for the bottom when it comes back in. So it came back into this range, and we see another support right here, and it's backed up by the yellow exponential moving average on this chart as well. So which means it's probably really good support as well. yeah, I don't see a top side resistance right now. Perhaps, I mean, we could draw a line here. So if it does break above this resistance, could be a good sign. Yeah. So yeah, looks good for Ethereum as well. Looks good for a lot of coins actually. Yeah, a lot of coins are doing really well today. Now let's look at a shorter time frame on the 1 hour, and we can see that we have. I'm not sure about this. See, whenever you draw these lines, you have to make sure that they do line up with either a support or resistance. So right now, this line I'm drawing, I'm checking if it's a resistance or support. So yeah, it looks like resistance or support. It looks pretty good, pretty decent. We did see a nice little bounce off that. But I don't know, like if we ever come down here, we could probably expect support again. But I don't think that line will be useful in the current future, because we did see a nice little pump here. Probably do expect continuation from this point. Does look very good. Very good. What I don't use the RSI for is looking at the highs and the bottoms, right? Like people say it's oversold here, people say it's overbought when it's above this region. I don't use the RSI for that. No, I would not use the RSI for that. What I would use for that is I'll show you a chart right now. It's called the MFI. So the money flow index. God, I'll put it in a different color to the RSI so it stands out a lot more. Here we go. Yellow. So the MFI in yellow, pretty much whenever it goes below 20, the bottom side, it's a good buy signal. So right here, perfect buy signal. And if you look on a shorter time frame, you get more signals, but it's less as good. What we got, we saw a really good signal for Bitcoin on the 27th. So that was a really good signal, went below 20, time to buy. And you see it confirmed whenever it sees like a V shape. That means it's a good buy signal, pretty much. I don't use that for sell signals, I only use it for buy signals. But has worked out for me really well, especially when you get confluence between the moving average, the green exponential moving average we have right here, and the RSI. So, alright, I think that's all we have time for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Much appreciated. Send a like and subscribe if you do so, please, and if you enjoyed the video as well, and only if you enjoyed the video. But yeah, thank you for your time and have a nice week. Till next time. Bye.